Hi everyone, we're back and we're going to go straight to Colorado from Newton, Massachusetts. We're going to Mark. Hi Mark, how are you?
How are you?
Good. So you'd like to look at Ford.
Yeah, I want to see, Ford looks like it's hitting, testing out some levels from back in 2011, 2012. If it doesn't hold that, it looks like it's going to go down quite a bit, but I don't know if you think it's due for a little turnaround here, and then the other thing, if you have time to look at Facebook.
Okay, so let's do Ford first because that's exactly right. Now, I drew this a long time ago. I drew it from the $8.82 low that was made back in, was that July? That was July of 2014. It runs from $8.82 to $18.12, a peak D in the Chapman wave methodology. That also made a left side, right side price time match. And then what happened is it comes down, trough A, trough B. So it goes from 1812 to about 1320. It bounces up to 16s, comes back down to 10.44, rallies up to the 1580s, and then it starts a whole series. It's almost like you've got a rectangle formation where I say that the left, there should be a decline that goes toward, right on, or just underneath the left side low of 10.44, and it did that right there in August of 2017. It goes to 10.47, tries to rally, and then makes another little arch formation. In the big picture, from the low of July of 2012 to the point that I've considered the left side halfway point to the possible right side corrective mode. You've got at 10.31 on August of 2015. You've got, so it was 10.31. I got 10.44. It should be 10.31. It goes to exactly last month, and it tests what? It breaks it by a tad. It goes to 9.25. This month is another down candle, so it's gone 1 month extra from that left side, right side price time match. And 882 is the level that I'd be looking at. That's kind of what you were looking at, right, in terms of the big picture?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this is going to be very important. I want to do a little fundies to do with the technicals. If I'm looking at the automobile market, and I've been looking at it in great detail from the beginning of this year, end of last year, beginning of this year, I did test drives and all sorts of things. I just wanted to get a feel for what I was looking at, because the big picture for me was, has there been a systemic change in automobiles as opposed to the 1920s, 1930s, all the way to the 1950s, where you got those fantastic General Motors and Ford vehicles and Chrysler. You got the Ford Thunderbird, the 55, and then it was just incredible periods where young people, especially young boys, wanted to own these cars. They wanted to drive them. They couldn't wait for their licenses. There's really been a very big, a systemic change to the whole automobile industry. And I think, in a way, that's what we have to put into the factor here. This is different now to any other time in automobile history, because not only do you have the whole thing with the different fuels, from battery to the standard fuel engine, but you've got modes, you've got Lyft, you've got Uber, you've got these different ways of getting it. Not only that, every town now is going to start talking about. I won't get into it, I don't have time, but at some point in the next week or so, I'll talk about these scooters that you just jump on and you can take from place to place. Fabulous means of transportation. Very, very dangerous. I have the scars to prove it. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, look at General Motors. General Motors down sharply, isn't nearly as bad as Ford, has different issues. I'm just going to show you that there's a trend line here that General Motors at right now, it's up 19 cents, but it has to hold 30 in the long-term monthly chart. There's a trend line, rising trend line. If General Motors closes, let's call that, if General Motors closes under 29, it's at 32.85 right now. At any point in the next few weeks, that is really a bad sign. So I'm going to say to you, I don't see anything. Yeah, tradable lows. I can see bounces, very nice bounces. In fact, nice percentage. But look at this. Jeeps are just being sold off the lot, and yet Fiat Chrysler is down 75 cents at 16.25 in that monthly chart. Almost looks like it wants to make another dreaded H. I'm going to say to you, there are complete differences between looking at Ford and, say, looking at a Facebook. So I'm going to say I would not be recommending anything in the automobile industry at this particular point, unless there's some kind of change, whether it's taxes, I don't know what it'll be, unless they're going to start making money from whatever means it is. Maybe they do the whole thing, turns into rentals. I don't know what it's going to be. But from the charts, I just don't see anything other than bounces at this particular point. So if you don't mind, I'm going to look at Facebook is the other one you want to look at?
Yeah, that would be awesome if you have time. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So Facebook made a peak E-top in the monthly chart. It went to over 200. It went to 218.62. July of this year. Is trading now at 155. Made a peak F. Hughes and I have been talking about this, saying I'm looking at these Nasdaq and the leading stocks. Facebook, of course, is one of them. Over the last many months, and I'm saying I think many of them are making a potential hat-trick tops. And I think that a hat-trick top means that the monthly is about to turn down in a letter of a D, E, or F, and that's going to be very serious, and that the weekly is already doing that, and the daily is the one that kicks the whole thing off, and that's exactly what we've seen. So I'm going to say to you, 149.02 is the left side low. I think there's a really good chance that Facebook at some point is going to test that level. It's at 155 right now. As a more intermediate term buy, I'd probably hold off even nibbling at this stage. I want to see if it goes to 152, will it be a quick drop down to 149 or lower, or will it try to find some kind of support over the next 3 to 5 sessions to be able to bounce to 159, maybe 160, and then we'll see if there's another tide coming to the downside. So what I am going to say is, if you look at Facebook, think of it this way. It's had an absolute free ride up until a few months ago on the upside. Politicians, nobody wanted to get in the way. All of a sudden now it's facing some tremendous social pressures, technical pressures, and other pressures. I'm going to say hold off. My thinking here is that if Facebook at someone remind me at 138, that Facebook just hit 138, that's where I become very interested, just in a price. That's where I start to look at it. And right now, I'm just saying, I don't see anything in Facebook other than a bounce. But if it bounces off here and it can get above 161, and for 2 weeks it doesn't break under 155, I'm going to say, you know what? Finally, maybe it's getting some kind of a base. But I'm going to say, hold off for now. It's under pressure, just like all those really big NASDAQ type leaders like Amazon, Google, etc. It's in the same category. I'm just going to say hold off for now. Keep it on your list because it's getting closer. It's only 5 to 7 points away from maybe starting a much nicer move to the upside. Hope that helps you, Mark.